picture. I don't know. I loved it.
I think that would have been good. I would have been for that.
There could be some argument there. But all right, so my number 3.
Bing.
My number 3, and I hope this hasn't been nominated because I thought it wasn't nominated, but I could be wrong. Is an animated film, and it's called Storks.
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, did you see Storks?
I saw the trailers for it, but I have not actually seen the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, it's adorable. It was so cute. It basically, the underlining theme in this one, which I feel like I say that a lot, so maybe I should change my little pitch to not saying underlining theme anymore. But its basis is on, like, childhood and growing up and kind of, like, showing the stages of growing up. It's just really cute. It's about a group of storks who used to deliver, babies. Mm-hmm. And they had a mishap that one of the babies wasn't delivered correctly. And so then they changed to doing packages instead of babies. Basically like the real life of Amazon if Amazon was run by a bunch of storks. But yeah, and the plot is that this one stork is trying to bring this one random baby that he accidentally had created, and apparently they can create babies. He accidentally created a baby, so that could have ruined the packaging business, so they have to deliver this baby to its home, and it's just so cute. It has so much comedy, so much humor, and Andy Samberg is like the lead voice of the stork. He's just so funny in this whole thing, and it just also makes you feel emotions because you see this one, his partner in this is the one baby who never got delivered, so she's called like an orphan, like her nickname is Orphan, her name. She's like, oh, well, that kind of hurts my heart. Don't call me orphan. But it's just so cute, and it shows her wanting to, have a family, and it just brings up those feelings of, oh, if you didn't have a family, how you would grow up and how you would be and how you'd always dream of what a family could be. And it's just really adorable, really cute. I think it could have it could have, been up there with the Disney movies. So I really enjoyed it.
And side note, you hear that, kids? Your parents have been lying to you all these years. It has been the storks. It has been the birds all this time. So, parents, do a better job of teaching your kids. No, I'm totally kidding. Please don't send any hate mail to me, please. All right, so my number 3. Originally, this went from number 1 to number 2, and then I saw a movie, and then it went to number 3. Everybody wanted this movie to happen at the Oscars, and I'm guaranteeing this right now. There's going to be some kind of appearance by this person. Number 3 is Deadpool, and honestly, this is action-filled. It's comedy if you have with romance. This is one of those movies that a lot of people could look at and say, nah, it's more comedy-based, so that's why it wouldn't get nominated for an Oscar. I disagree. The reason why? Deadpool is characterized that way. He's supposed to be funny. He's supposed to be a smartass. He's supposed to be this way. If you're saying, oh, well, if he wasn't comedy-based, then, he would have gotten an Oscar nomination. Just shut up. This is how he was supposed to do. He's supposed to be a smartass. He's supposed to shoot his mouth off, break the fourth wall. This is how Deadpool is supposed to be. And Ryan Reynolds definitely deserved a Oscar nomination for Actor of the Year because flat out pulled it off, and it's the redeeming role that he needed from Green Lantern. And the fact of the matter that they're considering bringing Green Lantern back is beyond my comprehension. Moving that away, Deadpool flat out was just great. Why this did not get any kind of nomination, even for like a small thing like costuming, I think that would have been really good because it's hard to pull off being somebody who looks like an avocado, made love to an older avocado, and still look good doing it. Ryan Reynolds, you're the man. Definitely deserved a little more credit, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not one of those people that's going to hold a grudge over it. I'm over it, so we can kind of move on from there.
Hey, I'm about to jump on you.
Why?
As a DC fan, I gotta say, what's your beef with the Green
Lantern?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
It kind of.
Oh no! What's your beef with the Green Lantern?
Hey, Ryan Reynolds brought it up most. It's because of the fact that it was too green. It was too CGI animated. It just.
So you have a problem with the movie?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
So.
No problem with the movie. You can't have a problem with the character without defending it. Because I would love for them to bring him back.
Well,
bring him
there
back
was.
And do it right.
I could make the point that Gabriel Iglesias did in his recent comedy deal, and that was he was arguing with a kid about what great superheroes are from DC. Of course, they say Superman, good choice. Wonder Woman, great choice. Green Lantern, what does he do? He has a ring. Okay, no man that has a ring has actual powers. Married folks, you know what I'm talking about. That mainly line, just kind of how his superpower works. It just doesn't really pop out to me like, oh, this is a great superpower. It's just one of those things where like, oh, his power is within his ring. Okay, so take the ring away and he's just nothing. Okay, then. I mean, you could say the same argument about Thor. Thor already has superpowers. He already is like freaking built like a god anyway. So you take the hammer away, he's still Thor. He's still powerful. But yeah, I just don't see too much hype in the way of the Green Lantern, and I don't plan on seeing the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds in it. No offense, Ryan, it's not your fault. It's just I've heard too much negativity about it, and it's not one of those movies where it's just, oh, must watch this before I, pass on to the other world. It's just one of those movies where it's like, kind of is what it is, I guess.
Oh yeah, the movie was not good, but I don't know. This is not the episode that we need to bring it up, but I think you're really underplaying what the Green Lantern Corps and all the Lantern Corps is. And I mean, they're universal protectors. They're universal protectors of space, every planet, and they're run by hope and all these other different emotions that you have to possess and have to have so much strength in, that they give you the power of this unlimited creation. Like, he can literally create anything he wants out of his ring as long as he exudes hope. And it's a hard emotion to keep in contact with, especially dealing with what superheroes have to deal with. So I'll let you think that it's all about a ring. That's cool. No worries. But as DC representative and as somebody who is a pretty big fan of the Justice League and all the members, I have to defend Green Lantern and say, I think if they bring him back and do it right, and it doesn't have to be Hal, they could bring back John, they could do a different Green Lantern. There's like 3 or 4 maybe that are on Earth that I can think of. There might not be 4, but I know 3 for sure. So if they could bring back a different Lantern and probably really reboot this movie and make it good, but we'll see what happens. Again, DC live-action movies sometimes fall flat, but we're done with this. We can move on. I just had to call it out because I couldn't let that be said without saying something.
Well, I will say this, and then we'll end the conversation. First of all, one, this has changed the F up. We change the subject every time we want to. It doesn't really matter.
True.
And secondly, you talk about hope. Again, I go back to Star Wars Rogue One, which was all about hope, and that was the best movie about hope that you can never really think of. So, in all fairness, I think Rogue One will have Green Lantern beat. Anyway, moving on to what is your number 2 before I get slapped in the face when I see you.
It's like, okay, all right, if that's how you want to end it, cool. My number 2 is Me Before You, which is one of them that isn't an action movie. So thank goodness I was able to find something that wasn't action-based. Again, this is a romance, so I guess it's a romantic drama, so a lot of those type of movies do get nominated. I thought that the 2 actors in this did a phenomenal job of bringing these characters that are from the book Me Before You to life, and it's such a crazy story of having, I'm
getting frozen.
Sorry.
Waka, waka, waka. Just start doing the Macarena song.
Okay, hold on.
I think...
Okay, I think I'm not frozen anymore.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Am I?
No, you're good.
Okay. I was, frozen for a second there. Sorry, guys. All that explanation you missed. But basically, it's a very heart-wrenching movie of the decision of somebody who is a quadriplegic who can't move any part of their body below their neck, and kind of like the decision of, is it worth living like that? And to portray that as an actor is so emotional, and to portray the person that has to take care of him and try to, make him want to live would be just so hard. And I don't want to say her name wrong. I believe it's Emilia Clarke. It's either Emilia Clarke or Emily Clarke. I think it's Emilia. She's, best known from Game of Thrones, Daenerys. She did a phenomenal job. I love all of her work. I love getting to see her as more of a quirky character, and I just think they did a really good job at bringing this book to life. The book was better, but that's obvious. I think every book is better than the movie.
Well...
okay, go right ahead. I pulled you out of something. Have you actually read the book?
No, but I was going to say the when you said, a lot of times the movie is better than the book, I was about to say, well, we could name Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey in there, but that's...
No. You messed up what I said. I said the books are always better than the movie.
Again, I could say, well, there's some people that could say some of the movies are better than the books, but again, I'm already at the risk of getting slapped in the face for saying something bad, so I think I'm just going to stop.
Well, it's not something that is arguable. You can argue a fact if you know one. Please tell me. I haven't found one yet because the books are just so descriptive and always give you a little more story, because sadly the movie producers can never fit a full book. Unless maybe Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, when they do 3 separate movies. So I still think they were missing stuff, though, from The Hobbit. But, it is what it is. The movies are always enjoyable, like this movie, super enjoyable, just sad, they didn't add this part, it would have made her character so much better. But yeah, that's my number 2. If you have read a book and you've also seen the movie and you thought the movie was better, please tell me. I would love to hear about it.
We'll save that for another episode. We'll probably do that next month, so save that for a bigger episode, because this month we're still focused on the Oscars. Number 2 for me would be the best horror movie that they've had, American made horror movie, actually, in the last 20 years, and that being the movie Don't Breathe. Honestly, this was a movie that I was not going to give too much credit for, but as soon as I saw it, I was immediately drawn into it because of the fact that it seemed like there were not one, but 2 stories that were basically going on here. You had the story of the robbers and their story, and then you basically had the story of the old man, basically of how, why he is, the motives behind the robbers, which are not exactly, not exactly bad, but they're not exactly the best. I mean, they could still get a high-paying job, really. But it's just one of those movies that really gets your attention. There's probably a lot of points where there are jump scares. I don't recall jumping at this movie, but I do remember just getting more interested because there came a scene where lights were out, 2 of the robbers, they're basically blind in the dark, and of course the old man, it's basically his life. He doesn't know exactly, well, he knows kind of where it is. He has a little bit more of an advantage. It just was one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, this guy has an advantage over them. They're not going to know one false move and they could basically end up dead. And all in all, just the more deeper and deeper you get in the movie, the more it just gets interesting. You kind of hear about, the old man, about how his daughter died and he wants revenge on the teacher, but then she ends up dying, so now he's getting revenge on the robbers. It's just something that just really draws you out, and I think that every single bit of this movie definitely deserved an Oscar nomination just because the story was great. I guess the acting just made you really kind of freaked out because you're thinking it's kind of one of those things where I don't think it's going to make people afraid of blind people, but it does make you kind of think that these people, they have more of an advantage because probably their other senses are a lot more heightened. They're a lot more